Do you feel like you work hard, but you're still broke at the end of the month? I grew up in a single parent household as a broke kid. Then I went to college and I was able to be a broke college student. Once I graduated from a broke college student, I was able to be a broke adult. I thought the only way to have more money is to make more income. In this video, I'm going to show you why you should stop focusing on increasing your income and start focusing on increasing your profit. The reason you should focus on profit is because it is faster and easier than just focusing on income alone. Your profit is your income minus your expenses. So you calculate how much money is coming in and calculate how much money is going out in expenses, and that leaves you with your profit. A lot of people talk about increasing your income, but no one seems to focus on increasing your profit, which profit is more important than even income. And the reason that profit is more important than income is because you could make $100,000 a year, but if you spend $110,000 a year, then you're beyond broke. You are in debt. On the flip side, if you make $80,000 a year, but you only spend $60,000 a year, then you actually are profitable by $20,000. So no matter how much your income increases, if your expenses increase at that same rate, then you will be broke. And what we call that is lifestyle inflation, that every time your income rise, your expenses rise with it. You get that raise or you get that promotion, so now you feel like you need the new car or you need the new clothes or you need to go out to the expensive dinners, so you're making more money, but you're spending the extra money that you're making, and that's called lifestyle inflation. Recently, I was speaking to a business owner and they were looking at ways that they can go and increase their income and all of these things that they can do to increase their income. And I was speaking to them and I said, well, the main thing that you want to do is increase your profit. You have great income, but you have these leaks in your business. Whereas if you were able to reduce the amount of money that you're spending, then you're able to have more profit. And once you have more profit, you'll have more money to be able to take out for yourself and more money to do with what you want. And it's the same way with our personal finances. Oftentimes we get sidetracked by thinking that increasing our income is the only way to get what we want. But instead, one of the things that you need to look at is reducing your expenses. The reason that this is so important is because a business can quadruple their income and make way more money than they were previously making. But if all of that additional revenue is going to additional expenses, then that business is not more profitable. In the same way, for a person, they have to do a whole lot of work to make a large income or a good amount of money, only to turn around and spend all that money in expenses. It's like, what's the point of making all that extra money if you're just going to spend it all and at the end of the day be broke, live paycheck to paycheck, and not have anything to show for what it is that you worked for? That's why over 60% of millennials that make over $100,000 today are still living paycheck to paycheck. And yes, a lot of that has to do with inflation and student loans and low wages and opportunities, but also a good portion of it is our spending habits, where we feel like we deserve more, so we try to spend more without having enough money to go to save and invest. The reason I'm such a huge advocate of people living below their means is because it is a lot easier to cut expenses than it is to increase income. It's a lot easier for you to say, okay, when I go out to eat, I'm not gonna spend as much out to eat, or I'm not gonna spend as much money on DoorDash, or I'm not gonna spend as much money on Starbucks, or I'm not gonna spend as much money on vacations or eating out or doing these things. All of us can look at our budget, see places where we can cut expenses, And you spending $200 less is like you getting a raise of 200 more dollars. Why? Because it's all profit at the end of the day. And so when people start wanting to cut expenses, or when you get as passionate about cutting your expenses as much as you are passionate about increasing your income, then that's when you will have huge profit margins. That's when the money that you make will be the money that you keep. And that's when you'll be able to have the resources so that you can be able to save and invest. So many people come up to me and they're saying, I don't know what to do about my resources. I need more money. I need more money. I need more money. But they don't realize the potential that they have in their pocketbook if they just scale back on spending on a few items. For me personally, it was my food budget. I always spend a lot of money eating out for lunch. If it was up to me, I would eat out every day, almost twice a day at different restaurants. But that money adds up quickly. As soon as I notice the leak and see how much I'm spending out, then what that allowed me to do was to be able to scale back, cut back, yes, reward myself sometimes and go out to eat, but it also made me to look back and look at my finances and say, okay, well, that's 250 extra dollars, 300, 400 extra dollars that I could be saving and investing for my future. So you should ask yourself, what is your vision? What are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve? And is that thing that you're spending money on, is it worth you not hitting your goal? Is it worth you not reaching your vision? Or is it better for you to sacrifice now so that you can do the things you want to do in the future? So that's how you start living below your means. When you get as serious about your expenses as you are about your income, then you will start seeing your pockets be filled with money because you have profit. Stop focusing on income, start focusing on profit. And if you enjoyed this video, then watch the other videos which are on this channel, which are all about financial literacy.